freedom, self-government, liberty requires virtue. There's no way around it. When I'm talking to Christian school groups, they already know this, but most Americans don't know this. Most people in America don't understand that the founders all understood, knew that the liberty they were talking about required virtue. Many of them wrote about it. I quote them in my book, if you can keep it. They all understood. Not the Christian founders. Every one of them knew that you cannot have liberty, self-government without virtue. And they knew you could not have virtue without faith. They knew that when people get Jesus, they start acting virtuously. They start, crime goes down, domestic abuse goes down. Even if you're just a sociologist, you observe when faith is real, virtue goes up. And when people are virtuous, the government doesn't need to tell them what to do. They'll do it on their own because they're listening to a higher authority. They don't need the government to threaten them. They already don't steal and don't do this and don't do that because they fear God, because they love God. So the founders all understood this, that freedom requires virtue, virtue requires faith, but then faith in turn requires freedom in the sense that you can't say, okay, we've figured it out. In order to preserve freedom, to preserve self-government, we need virtue. Virtue needs faith. So now we're going to make it mandatory. The government's going to force everyone to go to church, have a quiet time every morning. The government's going to force you to do this and this and this. The founders all understood that we can't do that. It has to arise naturally. It has to come from the people. So we have to make religious liberty sacred, because once the government gets involved, for good or for ill, on any level. Now it's happening, of course, in the opposite direction, where the government is actively hostile toward Christian faith, which is just as bad as forcing everyone to go to church. And that idea is so central to who we are as a nation. And when I really understood this, I wrote the book about it, because I said, anybody my age or younger, we weren't taught this, unless you go to Stillwater, unless you go to a few places. These ideas have vanished. They were at the heart of who we once were.